Standing order at 18:30 hours. Recognition of the public. We got a bunch of people here. We got Mark Rooney from Guilford Store, Sean Murphy and Veranda from Cemetery, and Bill Murray from you're from Cemetery, Bill Murray also.
And Eric will be here in a second.
Next item of business be approval of minutes from the last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And then we go right on to new business. Mark, you're up.
We have application for liquor and tobacco license, the same licensing that existed at the store when the goods were running it. Now that we have a new owner-operator of the Guilford Country Store, he is submitting application.
So is there anything we need to know about it, or it was pretty much a pro forma kind of thing before?
It's the exact same thing as what existed before.
Mark, say a few words if you would.
Yeah. Hi, Mark. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. No, we're really looking forward to this. We hope to be open in the next 2 months is the plan. Things are clipping along. The Friends of Algiers have done a terrific job, and now my wife and I are jumping right into it and moving forward with it. And this is just one more step in the process.
I'd like to make a motion to grant that license.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, we are thrilled to have you part of the community.
Now we gotta do a sign, right?
Yep.
I did make a request to have Sam Adams stop.
Sam Adams stock donuts. I think we've gone over that.
If you get some Warsteiner, you'll be doing good.
What's that one?
Warsteiner.
Warsteiner.
I've never heard of Versteiner.
It's German beer.
Is it?
A
Does that need
a
three
Vermont beer or
signatures, or-
two would be great. All three if you could.
Okay.
Yep.
So does it, well, I signed it in the wrong
That's
spot,
okay.
sorry.
You know what? All your names are on there are fine. I'll put your. Okay. How easy was that?
It was pretty easy.
Pretty efficient.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is keep these. I'm going to have our town clerk attest to the signatures, and I'll scan it, or I can give you. Do you want the original back, or can I scan it and give you a copy
whatever's
back?
easier, whatever's
And then who
appropriate,
sends it
that's
in to the state?
We will.
Okay.
We have both checks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
fine. Excellent.
Great.
you're set.
Hold on.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
See you
Thank
all
you.
soon.
Looking forward to you being open.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'm sure I'm going to be doing some work with the school kids sometime in the next month, and I think that was poetry, and I think that having them write something to celebrate the reopening of the store would be
very
good.
nice.
So-
It's so appropriate because those kids have done these beautiful drawings. I mean, you remember them, that they were up in one of our open houses, and I still have those. So that's great. That'll be
Yeah,
wonderful.
when you get to the point where you're starting to think about, the celebration of the opening, then there'll be some resources to help you from the community. like
Terrific.
A lot of different ones.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll see you all soon.
Yes.
See you, Mark. Take care.
Thanks.
You're next, guys.
Good.
Well, I'm not sure where Eric is, but
If it's not 10 minutes after when he's supposed to be there, it's,
it wouldn't be. Well, Sean, why don't you first of all start talking about, your end of it, and then Eric can talk about a little bit about
Sure.
his thing, and then I'll talk about.
All right. It's sort of fallen on me to do a lot of the maintenance, the mowing and so forth.
You do the mowing or you contract?
No, I don't actually contract. I just contact people and then make sure if I do the follow-up.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm not always appraised of all the bills that have come into the town, so there is kind of a little bit of disconnect between my actually hiring people and then actually getting paid. And so I'm not really always exactly sure, what the account is doing as it goes along through the year. But, I think close enough that we're definitely not overspending. That is for sure. So Peter Hannon does the high-profile ones, like Carpenter, Lee, Blanchard. And speaking of Blanchard, probably one of the biggest issues is the access. right now to the Blanchard Cemetery, because it's very, very difficult for him to get a machine up, because it's such a steep little rise from the center road up there. So I've talked to Danny about it, and last year he put a load of SurePack there, but it's subsequently kind of eroded.
I don't want to jump into something if you have more of an overview, but I do think we had talked about the access in a more general way than that as
Right.
well, and I didn't know if you intended to get into that.
I thought we,
I would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Eric had mentioned something of Tinker.
yes,
Right,
I was
right.
gonna say,
Trying to get an easement
Mm-hmm.
as you go up Tinker Hill, not on Dave Clark's, but just below that, the property that was Leslie
And
Straley
Straley's,
and
right.
Charlotte's, and I can't remember the name of the one who owns it now.
right.
Nice woman.
So she owns across that across Tinker Hill between her house and the cemetery. So there
Right.
would be access that way.
If we could get an easement, it would
Yeah.
involve building a road of some sort.
It's right at the bottom of Tinker Hill. There's a little red house there.
Do you
No, I
happen to
know
know
what
who
you
owns?
I'm trying
I
to.
can't remember the name of the woman who bought it.
Robert could tell.
She owns that little triangle.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, it's just such a it's there's the steepness of the road and there's the dangerousness of the access. So those are
It's really bad.
yeah.
I mean, actually, just for walking up to the cemetery, I think that you can park right there next to the bridge and
Sure.
be really careful crossing the road, and it's actually a really pleasant road up into the cemetery. So it'd be mostly for mowing. For Peter. Peter could get his
Peter
machine.
still gonna do that one? You indicated to me once that he probably didn't want to do it, but.
Well, he didn't want to do it because he gets high centered there with his machine, or not high centered. He's just like, you know, he gets stuck.
Yeah.
So you're saying that the right of way, the easement would be really just to give an easement for machines like the mowing to go on,
Well-
not for a car to drive that they.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we definitely wouldn't need a car.
Yeah.
Peter has just gone up there and used his weed whacker, but it's too big a job really for that. So
Yeah.
if he get a machine up there more easily, it would make his job a lot easier.
That doesn't seem like that should be terribly difficult if it's just to
Yeah.
get
What cemetery? Can you just repeat the cemeteries
Blanchard.
that Peter maintains?
It'd be the most notable one are Lee, Carpenter Hill, Blanchard, and then Wilkins he does sometimes. Basically what we've said is if they don't really need a lot of maintenance, then in other words, if there's a lot of moss growing in them, we're not like going in there and making it a requirement that he does a lot of mowing. So, you know, just sort of maintaining it as old cemeteries. The Carpenter is probably the most, Carpenter and Lee are the most visible.
Do you do anything with the Stark?
Not for quite a while.
And what about Cemetery Hill? I don't know what that one's called. Cemetery.
That's not one of ours.
Oh, that's private.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
yeah,
he's
that's private.
So who would pursue the idea of that easement? Would that be the cemetery
I was
commission?
gonna make an executive.
Yeah, I could do that.
I was gonna make an executive decision and appoint the cemetery commission to go ahead and get their easement across that property for mowing.
Maybe you'd like a motion that way.
Well,
Motion
who would
would
build
work that way.
this
Motion would work
access there? I mean, I think we should look at it first so that we have a specific request for the property owner.
I think the initial, at this point, I would just make a motion to explore the possibility of getting an easement, and then we'll gather information. We wouldn't go any further than that right
Yeah.
now.
I mean, I think the first step would be to go and see the woman who owns the place, ask her what her needs would be about having her access road. Is that just her driveway, Tinker Hill?
Tinker Hill's a town road.
So it's a town road,
Yeah.
so it would just be, you know, what her needs were about, you know, making sure that her privacy is respected
Sure.
and that this would be merely access for maintenance of the cemetery.
Right.
And then to draw up a document, and so I mean, we have a real estate agent and a surveyor on the cemetery commission. I certainly think that they're capable of coming up with.
I think the other thing is what Eric mentioned about if there's any necessary upgrades, so that if there's going to be
No,
cost.
there's no road there. There is no road. It would have to be
Constructed.
constructed.
Because even with no road, I thought if it were open, he could maybe get a mower across.
It's not open and there's no road.
Okay, so
No, it would have to be constructed
okay.
so that a mower could get up there.
Okay.
Because it is
So then at
steep
some
there
point,
too, but it doesn't have the same issue as being on that dangerous
corner.
corner.
So
And it's very short also.
so then it would an estimate of what that would cost, and I would assume it would be frankly the town that would incur that cost.
So maybe I would ask Dan or someone from the road crew to take a look at it in terms of building it.
I guess I'd start with just the initial get the easement information. I mean, that's my
Yes.
sense, and then. And, you know, I mean, if that's all easy, and if you want to get Dan to do a quick assessment of what he thinks it would cost, I don't think there'd be any problem with that. But just, in other words, just general information gathering?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Because she could say no to the
You start to
easement,
make a
which
motion
makes
to just turn it all over to them and have them go through it with,
Well, we could certainly come back with a report on
That'd
that
be great.
at the,
Yeah.
you know, the May, you know, in May.
You think you'd have that work done by then?
Well, what would be required, you know?
What you mean, making contact?
Making contact and maybe getting Dan up there to get an estimate of the cost and.
Well, also too, we would have to, it might make more sense to budget it for next year's.
Well, that's what I
budget.
want to see.
Yeah,
I want to, if
Because
it's
there'll
not
be
much.
lawyers' fees,
Right.
there'll be
Do-
probably
'cause like,
surveying fees, I don't,
I
there'll be some
don't
construction.
think we should take money out of the town
Not
budget to do that. Your budget, yeah, but not our budget.
well, they have like nothing in your budget, do you?
Now,
For-
should we, I'm sorry,
That's okay.
should we involve Peter Hannon in saying what he or somebody who did that work?
Actually, the
After
first
the-
thing I would do would be to go up there with Peter Hannon and ask him what he thinks about suitability for this for access for his
Good.
equipment. Then talk to the property owner to see if they would be receptive to grant an easement, and then go ahead and get a cost estimate.
Yeah, like
for the
how
building.
ambitious does
So
this
that's,
need to
so
be?
I think that, just what Eric said there, I would put in the form of a motion, really an information gathering
Yeah.
motion to grant the cemetery commission permission, if you even need it, to gather information about chance of getting an easement from the property owner, the doability of putting a road in there, and the cost. And, you know, Katie brings up a good point that even easements, you know, that is going to cost money. So just gathering information, and then coming back, I think by that sense, you could come back at maybe that second May meeting and present your findings.
It may just be just as easy as bushwhacking a trail through there and one it off once, and that's it.
I don't think so. It doesn't sound like it from what Eric's saying.
It's
Do
that simple.
you want a second?
So let me make sure that I
Second
get.
meeting of the select board?
Oh, wait, second
He
the
seconded
motion.
the motion.
Yeah, but that's what I was suggesting, the second meeting in May, which is the 28th or 9th or whatever that's going to be.
So I'm seconding the motion just to look into this.
To gather
authorize the
information.
cemetery
Gather.
commissioners to research the items needed to make this into a project,
Mhm.
correct?
Yeah, that's it.
And does that, as commissioners, does it seem realistic that we could do that by the second May meeting? Or would you rather have it be the first June meeting, you know, just in terms of?
Second day is
I
fine.
ain't said
Second
nothing
May
yet. I
seems
keep getting
good.
cut off.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
No, I was waiting so I could second it.
Oh, okay.
Is that seconded yet?
Uh,
All in favor?
We just clarified it.
I was just clarifying.
All right, aye. So then, what else? There were other issues that you were,
Did you want to commit to a date or no? Not
The
yet.
second,
Select board
the
meeting?
second select board meeting in May, which is on which date?
well, we have to firm that up. It's scheduled for Memorial Day,
Oh,
Yes.
so
Would you want to do the first one in June?
yeah, why not the first?
June
one?
10th?
June 10th. That sounds good. Does that sound like, Yeah, I mean, all of us don't have to come, we can submit a written report, you know, with one person. I'd be happy to come if it doesn't work for.
So to report on that.
Exactly. What else you got, Sean?
Well, the only other thing is, once again, it has to do with maintenance. The building cemetery over in on Packers Corners Road needs a lot of trimming of saplings. And I had the intention, at least I got some weed killer, and it's an herbicide trying to knock the popple down there. Whether I'll get over there or not is another matter. But it's sort of, there is a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of the stones and a lot of the cemeteries are becoming markedly out of plumb. So what happens is they just gradually get way out of plumb and then they break or fall over. And so, you know, it's something that we sort of had been talking about for a long time, but
I have said this many times before, but I will say it again, I've always encouraged the Cemetery Commission to submit a budget that has enough money in it to do some of the upkeep we need to do. If you think of our cemeteries as town treasures, which they really kind of are, I'm most familiar with the Blanchard Cemetery when you talked about the stones falling over and leaning up against the tree or the Stark Cemetery not being maintained. I think we can't, you know, jack up expenses when it's not been budgeted, but I would really, what do you submit for a budget? It's tiny.
46, I think.
Yeah, it's enough for just the maintenance?
Yeah, pretty much just for
I
mowing.
think so.
Well,
The book's
I
behind
had-
you right over there.
Okay. I mean, I had come at this project in a sort of other way in planning to have a conservation project for the, you know, I was working with Connie Silver about putting together a stone preservation project that was linked with the school. I think that I sent Katie a copy of the proposal, and you know, this is something that I've been working on with Connie for a few years, and that was completely derailed by the middle school students. You know, we had been talking with Rachel, the middle school science teacher. She was very excited about, you know, how this project would fit into the place-based education, et cetera, et cetera. And then it turned out that we chose to send the middle school students to BAMS. And so that whole approach was cut off. So Connie and I are now working on trying to make a fallback position of having a multi-age group of people do, I mean, I can leave this with you. This was Katie has a copy of this. This was a description of, you know, a draft of the project having to do with preservation of the stones by a world-class stone preservationist. You know, she works in Yemen, she worked in the Capitol building, you know, and she has an interest in Guilford.
That's great.
And so, but her, I mean, to read this, you know, it's not a shovel-ready project. What her recommendation was had to do with monitoring weather conditions and getting together a cadre of people who would then do this conservation work on the stones. It's non-toxic work having to do with, you know, dealing with lichen, acid rain, things like that. And so, you know, Connie and I put a lot of time into thinking about what could work in this way. And so, you know, her know-how is there.
Okay, that's
the
great.
issue would be to, you know, and maybe Katie would like to work with Connie and me about figuring out another way to bring this conservation project forward, you
To the
know,
whole community, yeah.
and, you know, go ahead.
There is state money
Right.
to do some of that.
Yes, and so it could be that, you know, we just got sort of caught off guard by, you know, which doesn't mean we can't regroup.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where.
Plan B.
Pardon me?
Plan B.
Plan B, yeah. So that's what I'm going to. Connie will be back from working on stones in New Mexico on June 1st, and at the end of this meeting, maybe what I'd like to do is meet with Katie, and you know, Katie and I could set a date and time for the two of us just to kick around some Plan B ideas and look for funding to go forward, maybe with some students.
I'm thrilled that it sounds like you've really got it on your radar and you really have an active plan.
Completely.
That's
I
great.
mean, I've had
Yeah.
this on my radar for 2 years.
Right.
And this year I got Connie's attention.
Yeah.
And so
She lives right in Brattleboro.
She lives in Brattleboro, and she's, you know, she's a marvel, and she's a pain in the butt, to be completely honest.
You're on camera.
And
You're on
But well loved.
But well,
well, she knows her stuff, and other people can smooth off her rough edges and turn. But what an opportunity
Sure.
for, you know, and it could be that Jen Kramer will want to be a part of it. You know, it's just we have to regroup and, you know, carry the flag.
sure.
Franklin's every year, and we try to every year, have a work bee in a cemetery. And it's not that hard to set a stone back up, as Ben will. And I hope you're not going the way of spending big bucks to have somebody come in and dig a little stone
No,
and set
no.
it back up.
We're-
He's looking.
The slate
This
stone, the
doesn't
slate stone are
have
hard
to
to
do
deal
with,
with.
this doesn't have to do with setting up the stones, it has to do with the deterioration of the stones.
Right, and the
From
slate,
lichen
they're really
and
bad,
acid
yes.
rain and all that. The actual straightening of the stones
Yeah.
is a little bit, you know, it's not out of the scope of that project. It's just, you know, the expertise part. You know, the expertise for straightening stones. You know, from the little I know, you know, Sean knows how to straighten stones and he can straighten stones. But how to deal with the deterioration of these stones.
That's Connie's daily way.
This is Connie's area of
Preservation.
expertise.
Right.
Preservation, conservation.
There you do.
So, no, we're definitely not trying to spend big bucks. We're just trying to put together a cadre of people who can implement a program. And I've been, you know, Katie and I have been talking about doing this together, so.
I always think of, I don't know, I'm thinking of it too often, though. We have that community visit program coming up this summer, fall. But I think the idea of that is, as a community, we'll decide on one project to focus on. I'm not sure if this would be that project, but I keep thinking about.
And just to go back to what you're saying about working with Connie and the work that would be done with that, I don't think that that's going to really even involve, it's going to be sweat equity more than anything, isn't it?
Well,
I can't think it's going to be a fortune.
I don't think that the actual, you know, work on the stones will be
Require anything
will
expensive.
be that expensive.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll
Sure.
work on it.
Yeah.
We'll, you know, and we can come back with, you know,
Plan B.
Plan B.
Okay, what's next?
Bill?
Well, I just sort of, you know, Peter Hannon does the ones that I mentioned, and then Mary Jo
Games.
Gaines has always done the Maplehurst.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually went and cleared a lot of material to the east of the cemetery last summer. I wasn't really sure what the bill came in, but she and her daughter did it together,
Two of them.
which was really nice.
Fine.
And then the Weatherhead Hollow,
They're together.
I can't remember his first name.
Mike.
But
Mike.
Michael, or, yeah.
Mike
Mike,
Yeah, it was his son though.
his son.
Oh, his son is Mike also?
No,
Yeah.
Jonathan.
His son does it.
Is it?
So that, anyway,
John,
those are the three,
I'll just put Erp and fill it in.
those are the three individuals that do most of the mowing and so forth.
Which ones does Mr. Erp do?
Just the Weatherhead Hollow.
Okay.
Cemetery.
And Sean, don't we have some funds for the upkeep of the
Yes.
Weatherhead Hollow
Yeah.
We
Cemetery?
do, and it was always they were the funds that Jerry had control of. And I think, I spoke with Katie about it, I think all that came back to the town.
It came back to the town for that cemetery only.
And so the ERP charges should be written out of that checking.
Could be,
I would need to know that.
Is there an issue,
Cemetery,
Katie,
oh.
with, am I remembering this incorrectly, is there an issue with when these, the contractors submit their bills in terms of fiscal years?
Yes, there
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
We
there
had 2 bills, was it this past year?
No, it was the year before, because I hammered on everybody. I
Okay.
said they had
Yeah,
to
it was
get
the
them in.
year
The
before.
years
They had to
were
get them in
together.
by June 30th or else,
Right,
yeah, forget it.
okay.
And I think people have been very good about it.
Good, okay.
And
And
it's
I'll reiterate that with everybody again.
the cemetery money, that's the Weatherhead Hollow Cemetery that you were just talking about. When Jerry passed away, the board had decided that trustees of public funds would oversee cemetery money because by statute that falls within their purview to do that. So that's who oversees, and Penny's now a trustee of public funds, so that when
Is it Don and Penny and?
Penny
and
have one
Todd Mandel, sorry,
Okay.
I was struggling on his name there. So when bills come through, I'll talk to Penny and have her kind of be more cognizant of cemetery bills coming through for mowing. They come to me, but I'll talk to her too so that she knows
Yeah.
what's happening as they relate to. So is the Weatherhead Hollow one the only one that would get paid? I don't think we
Out of
were.
that.
That's it.
Out of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Out of
I don't
that
think
fund.
we
The
were
only one
aware
that
of
were
that.
authorized to.
All
think
the
it
rest
was-
of them come out of the money that was voted
Yeah.
Your
in
budget
town
money.
meeting for us.
Okay.
I think it's neighborhood of 10,000 in that, within all our town. But
I
it
don't
doesn't
really
matter,
need
but
to-
I mean,
yeah,
it's for
I
that
can explore
cemetery
that.
only. It's for that cemetery.
And,
Yeah.
you know, we haven't overspent our budget in any year since I've been doing it. So, you know, the potentially, if you had a big windstorm or something and a lot of trees came down or something, you could have a situation where you had, say, well, we've got to get these
Right.
trees off stones and stuff, but that hasn't happened yet.
Well, it has happened at the, the
Wilkins.
Grohl
And Wilkins
needs,
too, actually.
yeah, and Dicky was,
Yeah.
the,
And Lee too.
well, Dicky made a recommendation for one of his, he knew somebody who could do tree work for us, so.
Yeah, it was like that guy right there.
Oh, that would be you, Dicky?
Well, no. This is my nephew.
Well, that
My
would be
nephew is
great if
probably
you-
closest thing to Paul Bunyan of anybody I've seen.
Which one?
Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we also, we haven't yet done the spring walk around to
Right.
see how bad things are. I know the Grohl has stones down in the
Where's the
wall.
Grove?
That's on my road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so,
that's pretty. I
I'll,
remember
when
that.
I go down there, I'll see whether this is something I can just do myself, like pile back the rocks again, or whether it needs more expertise. But, and this has been a very snowy winter, so going into the spring, we'll really need to look at things and
Yeah.
see
Does-
what needs to
And
happen.
for the billings, Sean, that's where you wanted to go to cut the saplings.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd like to go with you when you do that.
Oh, that'd be great.
Did the
Yeah,
gate
I
get
could
fixed
do
up there?
that. I know.
At the Billings?
I know Don Gutton planned took the gate to Dunkley's. You know Dunkley's.
He's
I get
working
it.
on it. It's not quite done.
I'll make sure that the gate gets back from Dunkley's, and I'm not sure how big the bill is going to be, but I guess that's not up to Don and Maria unless they want to be our patrons.
Yeah.
We need to pay for the gate.
Okay. I wasn't aware of the fact that gate was down. So
Yeah.
I'll,
Chuck was a little concerned that you didn't advertise your tree work a little bit. That's why I brought his name up to Miranda at one point. I think he would have been more than willing to do the one over there also.
On the Lee.
Well, no, we did that one, but,
Oh, the Wilkins.
the Wilkins, yeah.
I don't know if that got done.
It hasn't been done yet, no.
It hasn't been done. We
Oh.
should do it. It really should be done. 'Cause, I
And
mean,
so
I've been
do you
trying to
have
get
a-
that done for about 3 years, and we finally got permission from the adjoining landowner, so.
So do you have the contact information for this guy?
I don't.
Well, are those two guys still on, the hook to do it, or?
Who was
They
it?
would know.
Baldwin?
I
Who
think
was it?
not. I think at this point, it's whoever,
Does it?
I sort of feel that whoever goes and does it, they're the people that do it. Because that's the way it has to be, otherwise it doesn't get done.
And to be fair, we talked about the whole idea of putting out an RFP, proposals for maintaining stuff, and I think we came to the realization that we're lucky to have people who show up and do it.
Yeah.
And so, rather than complicate it and only get estimates from landscapers who have super insurance policies and who
Yeah, I
maybe you'll
remember.
get the bill, but the cost of doing it will increase dramatically.
Well, we had talked about having one contractor do the whole town as well, and that we realized
Yeah,
that it just doesn't make sense given the givens. Okay,
So
yeah.
it sounds like you want us to keep the costs in line, but also come to you with a reasonable budget to actually get stuff done.
Let's just do,
nice, Bill.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think, and what I was pleased to hear what Brenda said, because I think a reasonable cost for both maintenance, but also, you know, not letting things just fall apart, if we can prevent it. And if we, it seemed like for years, and maybe it's been less so recently, but for years we really didn't budget much of anything except for maintenance, and there are stones falling down, and it felt like it was just falling into decline because there was no action being taken.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Does it make sense to maybe make a sheet for each cemetery and like a needs assessment and a current conditions for each cemetery, and then create a plan to, over time, almost like an improvement plan, a capital plan for cemeteries, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
to pick away at some of the work in a more manageable fashion?
That would be great.
So that each
Yeah.
spring when you walk them, you fill out a
Take
report,
some
almost like a
photographs
report.
maybe.
Yeah, photographs and a report for each one, and we can keep a file
That would be great.
It would be
so
really-
that we know what's
It'd
going
be
on
really-
where. So,
What's next? That's it?
Yeah, what more is there?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
Robert Stack, you know, at our next meeting, Robert Stack will give out the flags and we will distribute them.
On Memorial Day?
I mean, before Memorial.
Yeah.
I think I remember the old days when Ronnie and I would go around at 5 in the morning on Memorial Day, because we always kind of did things at the last minute, so
Yes.
get them all in there, so.
You
Yeah.
did it with Ronnie? Wow, that was
Well, I
cool.
took over Ronnie's, you know,
Yeah.
there was this great silence at town meeting after Ronnie
Rusty
died,
Franklin.
you know, it was like, yeah. I mean, and, you know, it was, were there any nominations, you know, and nobody nominated anybody, and I said, you know, out of sentiment for Ronnie,
Yeah.
I said, well, I'll do it, and then Arnold Clark said, yeah, she could write the epitaphs.
Well,
So-
Ronnie's joke used to be, because he was a JP and a legislator and on the cemetery commission, he said, I can marry you, I can tax you, and I can bury you. All of those things. So,
Oh, amen.
Okay, folks,
thank you so much. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah, but that's a really good idea. And so, Katie, I'll email you
Yeah.
about,
That's a great idea.
well, maybe you have other business
We
to
do.
transact.
We
So
do,
I'll
yes.
just email you and we'll do
Absolutely.
it like this coming week.
Thank
you.
guys.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Planning.
Friday might work, Brenda. If you want to check your schedule and let me know.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Planning Commission appointment. I got a call the other day from Mr. Herb Meyer, I want to be on the Planning Commission.
That's great. And how many openings do we have?
2 after we appoint him, if we appoint him, I should say that.
Well, I'd be happy to appoint him.
I second.
All in favor?
Oh wait, was that a formal motion?
I make a motion.
You are.
We
I said,
appoint.
was that a formal motion?
Didn't
I
you
thought
hear
was
that
just an
blow?
opinion.
Didn't you
I thought
hear
it was
that
just an
blow by
opinion.
your ear?
Write that out if you want.
Sure.
I did also, I think the last time when we were here, there was some point we were here just for a work session, and we brainstormed the idea of really getting some of the new people in town involved. And I happened to pass my neighbors on the road who are new in town, and I said to them, we need people on the planning commission. Now, I haven't followed up with them, but I would like us to pursue, I don't really even know them very well, James Hunt and Amber Johnson, but that, I don't want to say they're on it, but just thinking about people who have moved into town as a way of getting them involved in town.
Sheila is fantastic, I think.
Yeah, that's
She
great.
is like a lightning rod.
Yeah.
She is. She
Is it the first Wednesday of the month or the second?
third?
Third, okay.
Third.
So I'll continue to just ask people, I'll follow up with them with an email, and as I said, I don't know if they have any interest. I did ask Maggie and Peter, and they didn't feel like they could do that at this time.
You can ask the audience at home.
Any Guilford resident watching?
Yes, we need 2 more members to our planning commission. Good idea, Ian. And we would love to have anybody interested could contact the town office and let us know of your interest. Good thought.
I think people watch this they think it's America's Funniest Home Videos.
Let's go. Keep them watching.
Speaking of appointments, I don't see it on the agenda, but I just wanted to see if we had made a decision or if we'd put it off for another meeting about Wyndham Solid Waste Management District
I was
appointment.
going to bring that up underneath old
Yeah.
business, but you already did.
I spoke to the boss, and I tried to talk to him beside the road, and I said, is your wife interested in being on representative to Wyndham Solid Waste? And he said, I'm not sure, but I'll ask her. And I said, well, if I don't hear back from her, she got the job.
Oh, so even do we need?
So I would say that we make that appointment, and she
Are
will
you
accept
comfortable
it.
with that? It's not on the agenda, but is that all right?
I think we should wait till the next meeting.
Just so have it on
So
that's what I
That's what you
wondered.
went skiing, because I text you this morning.
Remember what we said, agenda
But
items have to
technically,
be
I
in
should.
back.
Yeah, I know.
I said if we change, if the law changes on how we do things, we're
Yeah, oh
gonna have
God,
to
yeah.
have agenda
No,
items
it's okay to
like,
wait, but that's,
like before the previous meeting
yeah.
of the previous meeting.
All right,
It's
so
crazy.
let's see if we can get that on the
So-
next agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. VCRD Digital Economy Program accepted.
Oh, I had a comment
Look
about,
at these initials.
yeah. I think the V stands for Vermont, that's my,
Community Rural Development.
Vermont Council on Rural Development.
is
I
that
thought
it?
that's what it was.
Vermont Council on Rural Development. Yeah.
What I say,
Yes,
community.
you were close.
All right.
Closer.
Sorry.
I remember it, but
I took a while guessing the V stood for Vermont. But other than that,
So, Penny had forwarded on this email that I had gotten from the Vermont Council, that she had gotten from the Vermont Council on Rural Development about the Vermont Digital Economy Project. And what it offered towns was 4 or 5 different categories that they could apply for assistance with. Not so much that you would get, a check written to you for funding, but that they would provide technical assistance and consulting assistance. And there were 3 categories that I thought Guilford matched perhaps our needs. One was one-on-one assistance and workshops for farm and forest businesses, upgrades to town website, and the third one is establishment of a community-based online forum and calendar. So what they would do is offer us assistance in each of those categories. The website is one that we've been talking about, and especially with school leaving. The community-based online forum and calendar is what Marley has really been wanting. And like a lot of people had talked about having a front porch forum type place where they could get online and talk about issues and that sort of stuff, more than just a calendar, but like a discussion piece. And then the one-on-one assistance to farm and forest business, I just thought that was something that would be good for local farms and businesses. If they needed help, maybe they needed help crafting a website, maybe they needed help marketing their business in a new and different way. So I wrote an application, never thinking we'd get funded, and we got
When you say funded.
I mean, selected for the
Okay.
program, yeah. So we got selected for the program. So I stuck some names in there as my point people for each of those. I put, maybe I put Peter down for the website.
Good. I was going to say, because I sent him that link and he had some interesting reaction.
Peter
Oh, you had Peter Hetzel,
I
okay,
did,
because
but-
Peter Welch,
If Peter Welch wants to be even better.
yeah, because he does a lot of work with website, I mean, he doesn't do website design, but he does,
Sure.
he does, yeah.
I needed names to stick on there.
Mhm.
I think I used Peter. I think I used you for the front porch forum one. I can change the name after.
Mhm.
I actually used Jackie Games for the farm one, because you remember at the end of town meeting day, she came up and said, I want to be more involved, and I said, well, good. So I like, you know what? I called her up, left her a voicemail, and said, hey, by the way, I put you down as a contact. We probably won't get picked, but
So I would think that, I
So-
really do think that, I had asked both Peter and Maggie, because we had talked about them as well, about the planning commission, and they didn't feel that they could do that, but I think this is a way that Peter might be able to be involved, Peter Welch,
okay.
and he has a lot of expertise in that field.
So that's what that is.
They don't want any money?
They do want money. That's further down, but we got this regardless of if we give them money or not.
Okay.
Does that help?
Oh, we got this regardless of, but are, is
We
it
got a whole separate letter that said, we would love
your
if
money,
you would donate.
$10,000?
We get loads of those letters.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody wants money.
everybody does.
Old business, library painting, starting in FY13, need motion to authorize.
Yes, I had asked that during the meeting, but last meeting, but nobody actually passed a motion authorizing the expense to start to be incurred in fiscal year.
Yeah, I saw that in the minutes, but
I'd like to make the motion that we go ahead and authorize the librarians to get the library started painting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Memorial Day schedule.
Well, I think, Troy, did you and I both agree?
I seconded yours.
Wednesday,
I just
Wednesday.
wanted to be on the record.
Yeah. Let's double check what the date is.
29th, I think.
The date would be the 29th. Yep, I already put it in, Wednesday, the 29th.
So did I am.
Okay, great.
You might be busy that day.
Well, that'd be just me and Ann and Katie then.
Don't mind me, I said I'm in, I went in and read the meeting. All right, the 29th it
Who would
is.
like to move that?
I'd like to make a motion that we change our regularly scheduled fourth Monday of the month select board meeting from May 27th to May 29th, in observation of Memorial Day.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I was kind of hoping it'd be Memorial Day.
I'm sure you were.
No,
That's the old way, right?
because our last service is at 5:30 at the church in Algiers. Okay, highway. Uniform municipal excess weight permits.
I have one for Basin Brothers.
I'd like to make the motion that we authorize Basin Brothers the excess weight permits
I'll second that, with the usual, I'm sorry.
with the usual,
I didn't mean to interrupt.
don't go across the bridge and stay off the muck.
I think we're done with mud season
There's
totally.
a few soft spots.
Are there?
Yep, the boys is out working on a few of them.
Possibly, but,
Close, very close in.
I talked to Dan this afternoon, and he said that they're jumping all over town, and they've sort of got the mud holes cornered up, and a new grader is ordered.
Can I ask
He's checking everyone's hearing.
I was going to ask a question. I wasn't even listening because I wanted to ask about the weather at Hollow Bridge. Have you seen that? There's a whole one of those cement posts is.
I can tell you who did that.
So can I.
I don't think she really wants to. I think she
I just want to know what we're going to do about it now.
We'll probably fix it.
Do you have a time for that?
I would talk to the road commissioner about that.
All right. Well, perhaps you can get a report from the road commissioner about that because that's really down. That creates a whole space wide enough for a car to drive through, and I wouldn't want you in the river, really. So.
Yes, there's a story to go to that.
Yeah.
I won't tell it.
All right.
At least not on camera.
Yeah.
Huh?
At least not on camera.
That's not-
What was that book?
There will be a story of this decision.
What's this?
Vermont Trans Program Development Structures Section 2012.
Bridge inspection reports. Let's get that one.
How did we do?
I'll see how the state matches up with the feds.
I don't know. Which do you want to know?
Bridge 64.
Hopefully the one in our folder.
These are the ones that are considered in bad shape, these ones?
Yeah.
Which bridge?
There's over the number, the worse they are.
64?
64. It's on, Heinsberg.
Heinsberg Road. Brook.
Brook.
What do you want to know? Which aspect of it?
What's their rating of it?
This is the federal?
Well, this is the federal one. It says,
Does it say what the...
200 vehicles per day, the detour is 15 miles, and the federal rating, efficiency rating is 34.4, which is the lowest number that's pretty low down there.
And so that's pretty low, because there are other ones on here that's
Yeah.
50 and
How about I
60.
just read you the thing? It says fair condition due to the continuing deterioration along the beam flanges and the heavy section loss in Bay 3 along the I-beam stringers. Structure should have rehab or full replacement of steel in near future.
That's actually, it was on this list of bridges they were gonna put on,
Yeah, why did I think that that one was one of the ones? Bridge 64.
well, I
Where is that?
had them take it off temporarily because Halifax is doing theirs this summer and 65
Is
is
that the
getting
last-
done next summer.
Isn't
Right,
that one
that's-
of the bridges on Hale Road?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's 65.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
64 in Hill Road as well?
Yes,
Oh, I see, okay.
yeah, it's his second bridge.
Okay. Gosh, that Hill Road, hard on bridges.
61
Hang on 1 second. I am
is
losing my mind.
by the Route 5.
Mm-hmm. There were people surveying, I told you that down there, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering if that means they're gonna get to it in the next 20 years, or if we could get an update on what they're thinking about. Seriously, because that would be a
Well,
great...
61, it's on this list. It could be pushed up to,
What was the other
This
bridge
list.
on Hale Road?
65, the one that they're working on, or 64?
65 is next to the last one on Hale Road.
What was Parsonage's bridge? Do you remember that?
Well, what?
Parsonage
Parsonage.
Bridge? Which one was
Parsonage Bridge, that's, Parsonage is 64, 64.
Well, how
we
can
do
that
that
be
one?
64?
that? I thought we did that bridge.
No, we did one before that,
What, 63 then?
63. We did Dop and Dot Bridge was done just before Irene.
Yeah.
That's the one this side of the Parsonage.
Okay.
65 is the next one beyond the Parsonage Bridge.
So when you say that one might be moved up, the Route 5 bridge, that's a state project, I know, it's not
Yeah.
ours,
Yeah.
but still, do we have any opportunity to put any pressure on that? Bridge to be dealt with sooner rather than later?
Well, they're gonna have to deal with it sooner because the guy said it's on, I spoke briefly with the guy. And he
Who was
said-
surveying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why we didn't want any crosswalks or sidewalks. or nothing.
Well, we got 6 bridges on here just in Guilford, huh?
Yeah. Fitch's Bridge is the one they moved up on the priority.
I think we've put that though. That one's been on there each year.
Mhm.
Finch.
Yeah, we just got kicked up to the top.
So my question, I'm gonna just ask once again, is there a way that we can help the state to prioritize that bridge which is not ours, the one on Route 5?
We discussed it tonight, actually.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
About that they were surveying it need to be, I think, if they're surveying it, it's called a candidate and it's 5 years or something like that. once
And it's
they-
5 years at the best case scenario or worst case?
Probably, yeah, probably, and once it gets on the list he's got, yeah.
Well,
These are
it'd be a heck of a trip down Broad Brook up 142.
One,
back
I
in the-
understand, but that bridge-
Oh, it needs it. I will totally agree
And
with
they
you.
probably might do a temporary bridge.
Yeah, but
While
they
they're
would
doing
they
it.
Oh,
would
yeah,
do it
they'd
separately.
have to.
there's seven bridges in Guilford.
Yeah, and that's kind of the list you don't want to be on. But I guess my concern about that bridge and that place is that
Is this for me?
it's heavily
Well, you
trafficked,
have a
but there's
whole-
also a fair amount of pedestrian traffic.
Put it all.
Mhm.
I'll put that on Wednesday.
And I'd like to see us push to get that bridge dealt with, because I know all of these bridges, it's about structural damage and structural issues, but that bridge has other issues in terms of the danger Not just structurally, but because it has no crosswalk, which I know that you would like to.
Well, not only that, I mean, if you have to, it doesn't matter. Somebody could be pulling a trailer behind their pickup truck, and you've got to stop. There's no way
Yeah.
that you can pass on that bridge.
Yeah, I think that one scares me more than any of the ones that are, whether in Hollow or Fitch, or those ones that have structural issues.
That bridge has probably caught more cars coming back from the Chase House back in the 50s and 40s.
Well, I'm going to say it again, I would just like us to pursue a way of getting a conduit, getting the state's ear on that. I don't know.
They were doing survey work out there.
Yeah, they were, and that's what he was just talking about.
That's what he was just talking about.
And I guess you probably would need to jump on that sooner rather than later.
I would think so. I would just like, the surveying work, it brought it to our attention that they were thinking about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, if it's the squeaky wheel that gets the grease, I would like us to be the one saying, this bridge has really a number of significant issues, state, and if there's, I don't know if you can get moved up on the list or not. I don't.
Once it gets on one list there, it can be moved up. Yeah. Well,
But isn't
there's
it
so many
different from
criteria.
those- But it's because it's on a state road as opposed to a town road, isn't it?
Well, some of the bridges we did tonight, but we set the priority by the amount of traffic per day.
There's a lot of traffic on that Route 5.
And actually, Brattleboro got one to 11,200 cars per day over it or something
They
like that.
doubled us.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay, the general update, we've done that. Yeah, Dan is trying to see if he can get another grader borrow a grader from another town or something, so they have two graders out working.
Good.
Get stuff smoothed up. Most of the frost is gone, or there's spots here and there that are.
How's Green River Hill?
It's not bad.
Pretty
It's
good.
This side's real good.
It's as good as.
Actually, the road in general.
Yeah.
Yes, the road in general held up real
last
good.
year
Yeah.
was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Green River Road, Stage Road?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I think it was last year that we took that guy from
Yes.
the state
And it's
over the
Prius.
hill. In his Prius, and I was like, oh my god. I think he left half of his
Follow
engine on
us.
the hill. Yeah.
And we can talk about it more Wednesday, but I did mention to Sarah about the signs, and we haven't started it yet.
What are we talking
Gotta wait for the frost, the road signs.
They told me that they had started it, and that it was being completed in the fall.
What are you talking about? The
For
sign?
the sign
Sign
inventory.
in-
Oh, inventory. Okay.
That's not what I was told.
Well,
I will follow up.
Is that when
I have
originally?
an email exchange about that, yeah.
All right.
from Sarah?
From Jeff.
Because I left Jeff, I went and talked to Matt. Matt took me in to talk to Sarah. Said, have you started it yet? She said, no. And I said, well, Dan and I'd be glad to ride around with you when we do that.
Okay. Well, I've been waiting to, I kind of thought we were going to get her coffee cake and coffee.
Yeah,
Do you remember
I
that
said, yeah,
conversation?
I said, you're actually holding up our traffic ordinance. So. Yeah. Okay, finances. Stag award update.
Sorry.
What kind of,
That's the water line.
oh,
We've received $319, $319,805. Why can't I say this?
$319,805.
I'm starting
I
to
used to
get
practice that in sixth grade now.
Clearly, I'm not
She's
smarter than a
catching.
sixth grader.
I wasn't either till I taught it, but then you have to learn that stuff and you teach it.
So I'm still submitting for reimbursement through this, but that's how much we've received to date for the water line. So as the PVR gets added in now, this work, I will ask for an extension to this so that we can submit for all of that. So
Do we have any status update on the PBR?
not yet. I will definitely follow up on that tomorrow from my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pass everything through this
Mhm.
so that we can shake it all out in the end and have as little in the bond as possible,
That's great.
even if it's
okay. How much of the bond did they use? Do you know yet?
nothing yet. Nothing yet.
But they'll have to pay for the line to the church and the line to the firehouse out of the bond.
Yes.
Okay.
Thought you said you didn't know. Okay. All right. March.
What about oh, that's the same one. Okay. All right. Sorry. Go Troy, do it. Josh, you're brave.
We're right with
I
it
have a
tonight,
basketball
aren't
game
we?
to watch.
We are all just on right on it. We're sharp as a tack tonight.
The first sunshiny day we had.
I know.
I know, brain wipes your brain out. I'd like to make the following motion that we pay payroll warrant of $331.13 for $9,351.67. Payroll for 4/7/13 for $4,447.80 for a total of payroll of $13,799.47. Along with that, warrant number 18 for $22,615.07 for a total of payroll and warrants of $36,414.54.
All in favor?
I'll second.
That was one of those motions that didn't need a second.
So you want to do payroll and you can.
Thank you.
Gotta be quick.
That Troy needs to sign that.
Okay.
And Richard couldn't sign that.
Thank you, sorry.
Small town growth workshop, 16th and 17th. I think I'm going to that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I might be too, actually.
Yeah.
You are? Okay. I've tried, forwarded it along to the planning commission to try and get folks from the planning commission to go. I think Sheila's going to one day. I think Hal wants to go.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So I kind of RSVP'd saying that I was getting a group of people together, and I would let her know the number. So I will follow up with her. V-Trans proposed improvement to previously utilized. This is just the proposed plan for the way station.
Oh, okay.
And if you want to have a burning desire to know more about it, it's tacked up
Just
on the bulletin board. And
Tell me what you're talking about.
The old rest area.
the
Oh,
old
thank
rest-
you.
right as you
That's
get
all I needed
across
to
it.
hear.
There you go. If anybody's interested in peeking,
Right,
Right at the state line.
where the snakes were?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Are. 'Cause
Are.
I would imagine they're still there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Is
think
that
they're
on
probably
here?
still hibernating right now. But,
Wasn't that the
no
reason?
descriptions, it's all. Just a minute. Rehabilitation of existing Markham Center location at mile marker .027. Provide out of service vehicle parking, secure area for enforcement operations, and safe something. Yeah. Boy, am I glad I went to that meeting.
Aren't you? You're a wealth of information now. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Northeast Resource Recovery Association. Every year you get excited about this and say you'd really love to go, and then I think
I do?
I think so. And I think you say that the registration fee is like a ridiculous
Oh,
price.
it's
and then you say,
astronomical.
forget it.
And then I'm
I
like,
thought.
oh,
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
start recycling.
That is.
I'll go. Not. Sorry. I
Um,
didn't realize I did that every year.
I thought you did last year, and I thought it was kind of funny. We have a letter from Silvernet that they are going to be replacing fiber optic cable throughout our community on existing utility poles.
This is what we voted. This was the school.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
with the
That's
Vermont
what all
Fiber
those
Connect
white
project.
mountain trucks have
Yeah,
been
they're
Oh, really?
all over the place.
Oh, all right.
When is that? When is that officially going up? You don't know, do
I
you?
don't have a
I don't know
clue.
either.
I'm just curious to
Bill
know
might
when
have
it's
known.
gonna-
Well-
oh, shoot.
Actually, no, he wouldn't have. That was in his old days on Wyndham Regional, so I'm sure Dick knows.
No, because he might not be on that committee.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
All I know is they're running
We have to
behind,
ask the
so.
school board,
They are.
I guess.
They're running behind.
Well, there's one, they're running behind, but also there's one going to the library and one going to the school.
Mm-hmm.
And if it goes to the school and they go live, I'm wondering if we can also,
We should be able
Oh,
to.
yeah, we could, yes.
so,
But I think the library's hooked up already.
are they? I could check with
I
Kathy.
think they was up there Consider them waiting 2 or 3 days, yeah.
I don't know if it's just the cable's hung, but it's not live.
Cables.
I would guess probably that the actual high speed probably is not.
Connected yet.
No.
I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Cables
No,
there.
they got it brought into the building. That's as far as they got it up there at the school.
Yeah.
Algiers Fire District, they're having their annual meeting on May 23rd
At the firehouse?
at the firehouse, but don't they need to post that notice? I was gonna ask them.
You know,
I don't know. I mean, I know they've always been conscientious, I think, about posting the warning,
Yeah.
but
Well, the warning.
the warning should include the articles.
Yeah, so I'll follow up with them.
Yeah, good.
I don't know if we want to report in on our meeting from the other night. Let me just.
I will report in a little bit, which is that this was a sort of a meeting in preparation for their annual meeting, and Katie, they were incredibly grateful because Katie had prepared a budget for FY 2014, and also, you know, as she's been doing with us, gave them the concepts of creating some sort of capital funds and some reserve funds, and redoing their rate structure so it more accurately reflects what things actually cost. And I just feel, I know that they feel that they were that they are really appreciative of having the town services in those regards, so.
And just as a follow-up to that and reading their bylaws, their budget surplus is addressed in their bylaws.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's why.
So it's redundant to have that article in there?
No, because I didn't have one for a budget surplus.
Okay, that's where I was mistaken that night.
And we did, that's why I kind of circulated around those ordinances for everyone to read and just, I think it would be good for everyone to read them. So, anyway. And then the last one is Vermont Council on Rural Development, not an acronym this time. Letter, request for funding.
who's that?
The one, Vermont Council on Rural Development, the
BCRD.
Digital Economy, we got the Digital Economy Award.
But is
they
this-
send us
but-
they send us a carrot and they want us to pay for it.
Oh, right, okay. But this,
Yeah.
and this is not about the community visit.
No, it's
No.
nothing. I think it's a stock letter that's sent to every single town and every entity that they probably have on a mailing list. Please join as a contributing member.
How much does that cost?
I have no idea. I don't think that
I
there's
was
a
just gonna
cost.
say-
I think it's a
Well, when they say it's a contributing member, it kind of implies money.
send your donation today.
It doesn't say how much, does it? $10, $15.
Well, I mean, seriously, I would, you know,
Well,
if they're
I
going to
mean-
be doing
More
good things
stuff,
for us,
yeah.
we might want to join if we feel like there's
It
good
might be,
research.
yeah, and there's good professional affiliations to have.
Mhm.
Oh God, I'm so stupid.
Please join and send your donation to. Okay. So the donation is optional. That it seems like you can join
Mhm.
and separately send your donation. I'm just going to suggest that we consider joining.
Individual member $35.
Oh, okay.
Organizational member $125. Leadership member $500.
All right. So 125 we haven't really budgeted for.
Nope.
So in membership. So I guess I would just table it and say that if we feel real value from them this year, maybe we consider joining next year.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, we certainly get a lot of value out of Vermont League of Cities and Towns. It's worth every penny. I don't know if we will feel that way about them or not.
Sure.
See, and they're getting, it's not a bad thing, but you're getting overlap. You got this
Yep,
one, and
yep, yep,
this
yep.
one, you
Yep,
got
yep.
this one, and they all,
Well, if we find that they do something significantly different, like Wyndham Regional and Vermont League of Cities and Towns, then we say Council on Rural Development does this kind of stuff,
yeah.
as opposed to
We
that.
haven't tapped
I mean,
that.
maybe instead we'll say, well, we're going to do the Southern Vermont Development, the SEVEDS thing, or maybe not. But you know, just having an idea.
I think we need to stay in close friendship with that regional and
Vermont League.
League. And
Yeah.
I think everything else is yeah. Anything else?
Well,
I have executive session of personnel matter.
Okay, what do you have?
I just want to bring up, if you guys remember 2 weeks ago, we had Mary Ann was here along
Right.
with Annie and that meeting there. Mary Ann brought to the board's attention that there was some damage done to the Christ Church right there at Melody Hill and everything like that on the lawn.
Mm-hmm.
It has happened again.
Oh wow! So there's real consistent vandalism.
Somebody's gone up Route 5 across Melody Hill Road and then up the lawn of the church this time. So, and I haven't seen a sheriff in this town, and I don't know when.
So what would be, so would it be the church that would be calling for somebody to?
I don't really know, but I'm just, you know, it's starting to get that time of the year.
Has anybody reported this to state police? Or
It's not, and it's up to the church people to report it to state police.
I would think so. I do.
What is it? It's aggressive driving in the park.
Yeah.
No, they're driving across the lawn, right?
They went off the pavement part, you know, and up the lawn. So.
Who's on that church committee? Do you know?
I know Mary Ann.
Mary Ann, Judith Nero, Mary Ann Lawrence, maybe Neil Quinn, maybe
Did the Andersons
George
used to be
Lewis.
involved? George, I know
And
George
Laura
was.
Well, I know George is on the cemetery part of it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Anyway, I just think.
Yeah, I mean, it's their responsibility to report it, whether it be the state police, the sheriff, I mean.
Yeah, that's
Well,
terrible.
no, I'm just saying. I'm
You just bring it to
I'm
our
just bringing
attention.
it to attention. That's, you know,
Yeah,
you drive around, there's more and more, as the weather's getting
I know.
nicer.
There's an incident not too far from here where somebody missed a corner and drove about 200 yards through a field, through the mud, and back onto the road again.
they
Yeah.
got back out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How come you guys all know this stuff and I never know any of it?
you ride around.
Okay.
I've been triggering it. You ride around the road.
But yeah, I'm just, you know, since Mary Ann brought that up, I just, since then it's happened again.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
So I guess I'd make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss a personnel matter and invite Katie Buckley to join us.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would like to make a motion.
That we come out of executive session?
Nope, she can't
No,
move.
you don't make a motion, you just come out.
Oh, you just come out, that's right, never mind.
I'd like to make a motion that we adjust that we adjust the pay of the listers for the upcoming fiscal year, such that Lisa
Actually, currently.
currently
Not the upcoming year, but to adjust it right now.
to adjust it right now in FY13 and into FY14 then.
Without an increase in FY14.
Okay, so that that we pay Lisa at $17 an hour, Jeremiah $16 an hour, and Dick Smith, our new lister, $15 an hour.
I second.
All in favor?
Right. I would also like to make the following motion that we adjust as of now the pay of the auditors from $10 an hour to $12 an hour.
Second.
All in favor?
I'd like to make a motion we
I
adjourn.
didn't make that motion.
I second that one too.
All in favor?
Aye. We, us.